Well, the Titans had gone into yesterday with an embarrassing streak. What is it? 9 of the last 10 had ended up on the wrong side. And so Cincinnati was coming to town. God knows this is a team that has caused the Titans a lot of heartache in the last 18 months. And so it ends up in a real surprise. The Titans' finest hour of 2023, a 27-3 win over Cincinnati. And Watson, I thought the thing they did best was they set a mindset early that they were going to empty every barrel in the pursuit of winning. And that is, in my mind, Mike Vrabel's biggest strength.
Yeah, George, I agree with you 100%. And it just plays to Mike's MO. I mean, it's what he does best. When he gets his back against the wall, there becomes a grit to him and to the team, kind of a nastiness, and they come after you. And that's been his, like I said, that's been the MO of since he's been our head coach. I wasn't on your show, but I told everybody around me that I felt like they were going to win this game. I did. I thought they'd come back with a vengeance. We've all watched the 9 of 10 losses, George, but the last one was the worst I had seen a Mike Vrabel team. They got physically manhandled. I thought they waved the white flag in early in the fourth quarter. It's just not what I've seen a Vrabel team do. So I thought they'd close the doors and hitch up the wagons and come together and give the Bengals all they had. Now, from there, gosh, guys, how long have we been talking on this show about use Derrick Henry more than they do, throw play action passes off of balls around his number 22, and it will work. And they do it here, there, every once in a while. They try to hammer him too much. And the other day, they finally did it. They threw 3 play action passes in a row for over 20-yard gains in a row. I hadn't seen that in forever. And so they did what I think that offense can do best. You start throwing those play action passes, whether you catch them or not, all of a sudden them holes are going to start opening for Derrick, guys. And they did. And then he gets going. And that's the only way for this offense to be successful. They've got to run Derrick and throw those play action passes and try your dangdest to stay out of the third and longs. And then you go to the other side, George. This game was made for the Titans defense. Where is their strength defensive front? They're playing a quarterback that's hurt. He's injured. I'm not sure he's not hurt more than injured. And he cannot move a lick. And so they knew he was. You and I talked, George, before the week before this game and said, okay, it kind of won one with him just catching it and throwing it. But he can't keep doing that. These teams are not going to let him just stand there, catch, and throw it. Well, the Titans didn't. They came after him. They let him catch and throw. I don't think, guys, he can throw it deep. I don't think he can push off his back leg and throw it deep. I think they're taking a heck of a chance in playing this young man. What is his strengths? He don't have the strongest arm. You compare his arm to Justin Herbert's or even the kid that Wilson last night for the Jets. He does not have the strongest arm. His sense of time and accuracy, moving around in the pocket, scrambling around in the open space, that's what makes him such a great player. And Joe can't do that right now. The Titans were smart, took advantage of it, and absolutely brought 5, 4, 6 at times. They brought the house. They were not going to let him stand there and throw. It's been their best game plan, but Mike absolutely had them ready to play. And I think he knew if he lost that one, getting ready to play the first division game the next week, he had to win this game. And, George, I agree with you 100%. I thought that defensively they did what they do best. The secondary backed up, kept the ball in front of them. They knew they weren't going to throw it over the top of their head, and they just broke on the ball and tackled well. And the offense did the stuff that we've been begging to see. It's what Ryan Tannehill does best. Now, keep doing that. Don't go back to just Derek, or lose your patience and get back into that drop back passing game. Stick to your guns, do what you're doing, and the Titans will be a factor still as this season goes on.
Watson, let's talk about what is their hesitation in doing what you think they need to do with Derrick Henry, because there was a point in the game where the play fakes to Henry, there was like 4 consecutive pass
Yes.
plays that got big yardage. So why do they not do more of this? What is their hesitation to using this, their best threat?
George, we've been asking this for honestly 3 years. And I think they got away with not having to do it that year where we won the division. We were first in the AFC and got a bye game. And then the Bengals, I believe is who it was, when it came to town. But we had been able to just run over people. If you remember, there were games we threw it 12, 13, 15 times in a game. Well, we can't do that anymore. And the offensive line isn't near what that one was. Derek's a little older. I don't think he can carry it 30, 35 times like he did a few games that year. And so it's time. Use this play action pass. And they learned their lesson. And they did it. I think that Mike went in and said, guys, we got to open up more. And it can't be the drop back pass because we can't protect. It was so embarrassing the week before when they're dropping back, trying to chip out off of Myles Garrett. Myles goes to one side. They go to chip on him, move over there. He comes back. They move back. They have to call a timeout. I mean, how embarrassing do you think that was for Mike? And he knows. He's a smart guy. He said, guys, we cannot protect with 5, 6 guys. We can't protect with a back blocking a linebacker and 5 linemen. We can't do it. So we've got to find other ways to be able to pass the ball. They did it. Now stick to it, and this could be a pretty good football team. I saw no weaknesses Sunday. Now the NFL's crazy, guys. I mean, how do you go from playing that bad to that good? And we see it all across the league. The league is so equal; it's mindsets. And Mike has got to set the mind now. We got to see that team come out and play that aggressive, that tough. They were ready for street fights yesterday. They were ready, man, and I mean everybody. Running backs jumping up off the ground. Everybody was into it, aggressive, tough, and that's Mike's mo. Play to what you got, Mike, and this team could be a factor as this year goes on.
Okay, let me throw a couple more out there. If you're
Okay.
Zach Taylor, why are you risking really serious injury to Joe Burrow? I felt bad for him yesterday, Watson. You could see he was getting the hell beat out of him. The Titans had made very clear, if he's going to sit there and that's all he can do right now, we're going to make him pay dearly for that.
Yep. And the reason you never could do that to Joe was he's such a good improviser. And he's not now. We watched him yesterday flinch a lot of times,
Yep.
George, and he's hurt. He's hurt. I'm not sure there's not Achilles that's been slightly strained or something, because this looks more like calf muscle to me. He won't even hardly pick that foot up. And when somebody gets close to him, he picks it up and protects it. So it's he does not need to be playing. They got to be better with a backup in there right now, because Joe can't throw a ball past 20 yards, guys. I don't think he can do it. For the last 2 weeks, I've not really seen a ball with any form of velocity make it past 20 yards. So why would you keep doing this and not just rest him and let him get well? And if he's back in 3 weeks, he's back in 3 weeks, and see if you can make a run at the end of the year and maybe get into as a wild card team. That's what they did before. And so I don't know. If that doesn't get their head coach's attention, watching that tape, George, and to take him out and protect him, I don't know what would.
Well, and he's a guy that usually, when he tucks it and runs, Watson, I'm not saying he's going to go truck a linebacker, but he typically doesn't slide. He'll kind of take the hit and kind of angle out of bounds. The one slide I saw, I mean, it was a quick slide, picked up about a yard. When in reality, maybe if he was healthy, maybe he tries to kind of push forward and pick up 3 or 4. So even his running ability is usually a weapon, and it wasn't at all on Sunday.
I feel bad for him.
No,
he's a sitting duck.
Well, and he's a winner, and he's tougher than nails.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, from playing that position, there's a point you start flinching, and you can't help it. And he knows he can't run, he can't do anything. I would venture to say, guys, 75. He's close to Mahomes in a lot of ways. 75% probably his plays are made from improvisation, where he'll just slide around in the pocket, get outside, he'll start upfield and flatten out at the line of scrimmage and find somebody to throw it to. He has a lot of Mahomes in him, but not hardly as athletic, but a lot of Mahomes in him. And you take that away from Joe Burrow, I just don't think it's best for him to be out there. I don't think it's best for his team. I think he's hurt bad enough that I think another quarterback would play better than him right now. And they become one-dimensional. He can't do anything. He doesn't get on the center anymore. He's in the gun on everything. It has completely changed their offense. I think Cincinnati is in trouble. And if they want to have any chance to win, they better put him down right now, because they keep playing him like he is. I don't know if they're going to win any more games.
Watson, help me with this. Up till now, I haven't exactly thought Tim Kelly was God's gift to calling plays. Yesterday, I really liked from the very beginning. He showed Cincinnati some different stuff early that other teams have not seen on film. They were willing to take some chances. They were willing to get the ball way downfield. So does this start in some sort of a room like we're in right now, where Vrabel says to Kelly, we can't do it the way we've been doing it? I mean, who ultimately changes all of this? Because offensively, they took a bunch of chances yesterday, and I'm like, it's about damn time.
Yeah, and George, that's a great question, because it could be either. I've been there. I've been there. And when you hit rock bottom, and you just with whichever side of the ball it's on, offense or defense, when you hit rock bottom, it's usually the head coach that comes in and says, "Okay, had enough. We got to make some change. We can't keep doing what we're doing here. We're not getting better at it. It's not working. We've got to make some changes." Or it could be the coordinator going to the head coach, say, "Coach, I've given it all I got. We need to make some switches here, or we're going to get in real trouble." So you don't know the answer to that. But whoever it was the right thing. And I think they hit rock bottom, George. They came back on that plane from Cleveland, 94 yards, 6 first downs. I mean, rock bottom. And it wasn't right. You can't blame Ryan for that one, because he could hardly catch the ball and get hit. And so great decisions made. In my opinion, it's easy for us three to say it, but we three have been harping on this for 3 years. Throw the ball on early downs and loosen these defenses up. They had to come back and see 8 lined up in the cameras in the box at Cleveland, and taking gaps all over the place. They put in new running plays. They ran a bunch of sweep plays yesterday. They haven't done that in 3 years. They ran their zone play a lot more. They didn't run the stretch play near as much as they've been running it. They ran a lot more zone. Kept Derek in the game some, and used him as a decoy, and also used him as a flare and threw him some screens and flares outside. Used their running back Spears more in running downs and gave Derek rest, which I thought was very smart. And that kid's a good player, fellas. Spears is a good player. There's not a big drop-off when he goes in on first down to carry the ball. There's not a big drop-off. And so just a wonderful change of philosophy. I don't call it a game plan. I call it change of philosophy. And the one-on-ones came through. Every time they threw it to a receiver, he made the play. Only missed one where they ran the flea flicker, I think it was, and missed Hopkins deep a little bit. And the other thing I saw a little bit yesterday, guys, which was a good sign, I saw a little burst in Hopkins here and there, which I hadn't seen in the first 2 or 3 weeks. I wonder if his ankle isn't getting better now. and we're going to see some burst in him, and they can go deep to him more often.
Yeah, you mentioned Watson, or Hopkins Watson. He had 3 catches for first downs on third downs in the game, and he's tied for the lead in the AFC with 8 such catches on the season. He hasn't done a ton, but when he has made catches, they've been huge catches to move the chains. So hopefully, that continues if you're the Titans.
Do you remember back when we lost, was it to the Bengals? And we had A.J. Brown then, and it was 4th down going in to win the game, 4th and 10, and we threw a curl hookup about 10 yards to Akina, I think. I can't remember who the receiver was, but it wasn't A.J. And the DB came over the top, batted the ball down, we lose the game. I think it was the Bengals game. And we said, why did you not throw it to A.J. Brown? Well, in critical times, who are they going to right now? Hopkins. Smart. Keep doing it. Keep doing it till he starts grabbing double teams, and then we better have another one we feel good about going to.
Watson, I want to ask you about one play, and Billy, I'm going to want you to show this if you can in a minute. The Bengals take a timeout when the Titans show them the Derrick Henry out of the shotgun. Okay, they take a timeout. The Titans have no timeouts left. If they run the football and they don't make it, the half is over. We're going to see this thing here in a minute.
Talking about the Henry pass.
Yeah, but Cincinnati was absolutely asleep at the wheel. I mean, when you watch this here in a minute, they've taken a timeout to discuss this play that we're going to see here in a minute. This is a thing of beauty for Derrick Henry. But when he gets into the shotgun and he's going to be the quarterback, don't all the bells and whistles have to go off in your head?
Absolutely. I mean, what are they going to do? It's going to be some kind of pass. How do you not get your team on the sidelines and say, every eligible receiver they have, cover him? Don't take fakes. Don't cover your man. That's all you got to do. They're in zero man. That's what they were in the play before they called timeout. They were again. And nobody covers the tight end on the backside. The only receiver on the backside. And there's a corner standing there that I don't know what he's doing, calling his girlfriend. I don't know. But he stands still. The Bengals corner stands completely still, and he didn't even go toward the tight end as he worked toward the back of the end zone. I don't know. That was a great call. To go back and call it again is even a better call. Say the hell with it, we're running it no matter what. And then the Bengals don't cover it. I just unbelievable to me. Now, guys, it takes an athlete to make that throw. He's going sideways and jumps and throws the ball backwards. Excuse me. And I've caught quarterbacks for 40-something years, and you never throw across your body back toward the middle of the field. He not only throws it back toward the middle of the field, he does a jump throw. And a guy nearly reached up and batted it down, but a linebacker, but he didn't get it. That takes an athlete now to do that. I don't care what you say. And that's one heck of a throw by Derrick Henry. But the Bengals, they ought to be shot for letting that happen.